And last year we added smoke bombs because we have ninja class. And you guys have all seen the movies with ninja vanish. They throw it on the ground and it goes boom. And you realize it's all fake. That's not how those hollowed out eggs actually work. If you're going to make those smoke bombs out of powdered ash with black pepper, the way they were actually used is after you've filled them up, you seal them with wax. And they're not very easy to carry because, I mean, really, you're going to run around the con all day with an uncooked egg in your shirt and not break it. But if they needed it, remember the ninja were supposed to be invisible? So if they got caught in somebody's house and they were trying to escape, the walls were made out of paper, but the framework was heavy wood. So when they ran through a doorway, they would take one of those eggs. They didn't throw it on the floor because that stuff does not disperse very well. It just kind of goes poof. That was anticlimactic, like my prom date. So, what they did then, when they went running to the doorway, being chased by a sword-wielding maniac, was take the egg and go, boom, and smack it against the lintel, because then the ash would come out, and the pepper would spread out and make it harder for people to see and breathe. And it's amazing. I know you're not going to see that when you watch the History Channel and they're doing pirates versus ninja. The pirates are sending their attack parakeets over, and the ninja are blowing them up with smoke bombs. Hey, they need to have ratings too. It doesn't have to be realistic. But we had so much fun doing summer camps that my grown-ups started complaining about it. How come we don't get to have fun like that? So we started having one-night mini camps on Saturday night, like 3 times a year, where the grown-ups got to come play kids games, like spear throwing, and one of the things we did is we did an obstacle course of doom, where we set up a trail that you have to do somersaults or cartwheels down while people are pelting you with throwing stars. Guess who gets to throw? I love my job. And then run in and out of it's like a cone weave drill. So basically I get even with all my martial arts students for having skipped PE class in school, and they have to work harder at camp. But I've always wanted to do that at a convention and do an obstacle course, and they won't let me. So we're putting together a new panel anyway, that if we're here next year, we're going to do Ninja Olympics. And we have a whole series of games that are destined to make everyone laugh at you, and you're going to get dirty and broken and wet. Yeah, I don't mean it that way. Yeah, some of our panels are kind of like Gallagher shows. If you're sitting in the front row, you should have that sheet of plastic around you. And this class is definitely one of those times. Because it's not just us swinging swords, we're arming you guys. So after I get you all hopped up, I'm going to arm you and then I'm going outside. Anybody see Mel Brooks' comedy, Dracula, Dead and Loving It? Yep. Do you remember when they staked the first vampire and the blood's coming up and blood's coming, and Jonathan just gets covered in blood, and then Mel Brooks steps over and he's got nothing on him, and he looks at Jonathan and says, "It's mostly knowing where to stand." I feel that way too. I have to keep my clothes clean. What? I'm babbling, aren't I? What are they doing?
Your guess is as good as mine.
They're volunteering for the urgent sacrifice. And there was much rejoicing. Right, you're armed. Okay, before I arm you guys, I want to explain a couple things about what we're going to be doing. We're going to do some Japanese sword techniques, and even though we're using the boken, the wood practice swords, sticks, once we arm you, the goal is for you to treat that like you would a real sword. So, if at all possible, try not to lean on it like it's a cane. Don't wrap it around your neck. Consider that Darwinism would work. But I want to explain, what we're going to learn are some basic and really fun sparring exercises. I'm going to let you kill each other because, well, there's plenty of people in this room. If we lose a couple, we'll be okay. The techniques you're going to practice and do were designed for use on the battlefield. So if you've done or seen Japanese swordsmanship, please keep in mind there's 150 different Japanese sword styles just in this country. They all vary, some a little bit and some huge amounts. But what you're going to work on tonight is based on 16th century battlefield techniques. There will be no funny poses, unless, of course, you just can't resist. And no really bizarre, throw it up in the air, do 4 cartwheels, catch it, and then stab it between your legs into the person behind you. And I did see another sword group doing a move like that, where they took a 3-foot sharpened razor blade and went, whoa! You know what? I'm not training with that guy. And I'm guessing he did not reproduce. You can take my picture while I'm doing this. Samurai Dan loves this panel so much, he won't even stop to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to have my wife demonstrate one quick form so you can see a couple points here. The idea is that every cut, every move you make with a sword, once it's drawn, that movement is intended to end the fight. Very little on setup. Okay, the samurai did do an ABC, attack by combination, and they did attack by drawing as well, where you're trying to bait the other person. But one thing they didn't do very often was faint. I don't mean pass out because they saw blood. I mean F-E-I-N-T, where I go, oh, and then stab you. The truth is, for the samurai, they're going here first. I'm going to split you in half, starting at the top of your head. And if you block, as soon as I feel sword contact, then I'm going to retract and stab you. But I'm not going to go, fooled you, and stab. They were more direct than that. It was about killing people. It's like Yellowbeard from the Monty Python play. We'll kill them all. Okay, we'll kill anyone who gets in the way of us killing anyone. Can you do 2 forms for me? Show them about that. Your way. You won't have to do any of this kind of stuff. I just want you to watch while she's cutting. Watch the idea behind it. You should see intent behind every cut she makes. There is a body being severed every time she swings a sword, and usually that body in her mind looks a lot like me. Shoden no kata. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Rope. Teach. Hach. Ju. Ju. Ju each. Thank you, dear. Ju ni. Noto. And now with that form, this brings whole new meaning to Michael Jackson's song, Blood on the Dance Floor. Okay, every movement was intended to end a fight. Can you do Chunsei for us? Chunsei, come on. So as the samurai practiced, as they kept developing their forms, they added more things to it. They would block, they would shoot on, come on. Hold your position. None shall pass. None shall pass! And then there's the picture of the girl from Fifth Element holding up her card saying, oh, pass! Yes, I have a very weird sense of humor. Leave me alone. Chunsei, Hachi. So we can help keep this safe. If you have your own bogan, if you brought a wooden sword and you want to use it for class, you can. But keep in mind, we're going to do a couple of floor exercises, real basic stepping and swinging, basically walking and chewing gum exercises to make sure we're mostly safe. It satisfies our insurance rider. But then you're going to be doing sparring exercises where you're going to hit someone else's bogan. So if you have a really inexpensive bogan made of light red oak, even if it's painted over, and you don't want it to get damaged or splinter, use one of ours. And you're already trying to give...
Well, we have about 20 of these. As he said, with the bogan, not everyone will get a chance to hit each other tonight. If you are interested in learning more about the sword stuff, we did bring DVDs that cover a lot more than we'll do tonight. Basic stances, the kata, sparring exercises, and the test cutting. And there's a really fun and terrible karaoke version of Cherry Pie by Warren at the end of the DVD.
It's not actually Warren singing it. We were filming the DVD and I did not know they left the camera on. So I'm holding a sword and cutting sand in front of me and nothing to cut and started singing and then noticed the camera was still on. I think in the last year we sold 700 copies of that DVD. No one's watched the DVD yet. They just skip ahead that. The first event singing Cherry Pie.